Yo, what's going on, everybody? B Woody here, man. Excited to be back for another episode of Sports from the Cave, the show that gives you a whole lot of sports and a few tips along the way. Bro, super excited to be back, man. Had to take a couple weeks off because we're getting everything ready for the baby. About 7 weeks out. Super excited to meet my little guy for sure, man. I had a baby shower. You know what I'm saying? Everything was absolutely beautiful. Only the second baby shower I've been to, matter of fact. Second one was my own, which is pretty crazy. But growing up, men didn't go to baby showers. So this is all new to me. But fellas and ladies, if you've never been to a baby shower, I can confirm the meatballs are absolutely delicious, bro. Heard a lot of stories about baby shower meatballs, was never able to taste them, but I can confirm everything they say is absolutely true, man. So if you ever catch yourself at a baby shower and ain't got no meatballs, walk out, bro. Leave, bro, because they ain't doing it right. But yeah, man, super excited to be back with y'all. Haven't had a chance to talk NFL free agency, so we go get into that. And you see, I got my Florida gear on, man. The madness is here, bro. March Madness is in full effect, man. The tournaments on the ladies and the men's side is set, so we gonna get into all of that too, man. Super excited about this episode, so let's get it rolling. All right, y'all. So before we get started, ain't nothing changed, man. This segment is being brought to you by Dad Gang. Y'all know I'm new to the dad crew, but I got love for all the dads out there holding it down for your family, going to work every day, taking care of your business like a man should, man. So click the link in my description. Get you 15% off your purchase at Dad Gang. They dropped some new shirts since we've been here last. I think they're working on some hoodies, and they also got a golf hat that's coming out on Friday. That's pretty fire, bro. I got to get me one of those for sure. So click the link in my description, head to Dad Gang, get you 15% off your purchase from me to all the dads out there. All right. So NFL free agency, man. It's been a crazy time for the NFL for sure. From what I can remember from the last couple of years, I don't remember there being this much movement, man. There was a lot of guys moving from team to team, a lot of signings, a lot of trades, a lot of restructuring contracts, a lot of dudes being let go because they got to make room for contracts. So yeah, it was a busy NFL free agency this year. I know Adam Schefter's fingers are on fire for sure, bro. He's the most popular man in the world for like 2 or 3 days. So yeah, man. So what we're gonna talk about today? We're gonna talk about two things: the best moves I saw out there, and then we're gonna get into one huge surprise in NFL free agency. So let's start with the best moves I saw. The Washington Commanders, bro. I gotta give it to them, man. First off, I didn't expect them to make the NFC Championship game last year at all. Then on top of that, like they went in. They went in. Like they're not sitting there resting on their laurels, saying, "Oh, we had a good season. We got Jaden Daniels." And it's like, nah, man. They really taking advantage of it because you got to take advantage while Jaden Daniels on that rookie contract. Because if he gonna play like that, he got to get upper echelon of the contracts for sure. And that's exactly what they're doing, man. They re-signed Bobby Wagner, who is the anchor of their defense, middle linebacker. They re-signed Zach Ertz, which is their go-to tight end for sure. Also, they signed some D-line help. They released Jonathan Allen, so they had to replace. And I picked up Javon Kinlaw. They picked up Eddie Goldman, which gives you some size in the middle. That gives you some depth for sure. They traded for Deebo Samuel, which I talked about in a video a couple weeks ago, which I love that move. He's a ultimate gadget guy. Can run the ball, can do everything, man. Catches out, line up in the backfield, line up in the slot. He's really going to help with getting the ball out of Jaden Daniels' hands quick. Which is a huge thing for sure. Pairs well with Terry McLaurin. Like, it looks good, bro. It definitely does. Then, my favorite part of the whole thing, they traded for Laramie Tunsil. First off, this is a huge trade, bro. Laramie Tunsil is one of the best tackles in the league. Like, top 3 tackles in the league. And you had to shore up that O-line. Jaden Daniels had to do a lot of running last year, which he can do. I'm not saying he can't, I'm saying it was a bad thing. But you want him to be able to be comfortable in the pocket and not get those happy feet. Because, like, they're going to attack him now. Because they're going to try to squeeze the pocket down on him and all of that stuff. So, for them to go get Laramie Tunsil to shore up that backside, excellent move, man. Shout out to the Commanders. Like, this is what you do, man. You see you got a good year, go build on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you definitely number 2 in the NFC East. You're sitting right behind Philadelphia. You're definitely better than the Giants, definitely better than the Cowboys, who didn't do anything in free agency once again, but woo, surprise. I'll talk about that later. Don't get me started on Jerry Jones right now. But shout out to the Commanders. Definitely going out there and making moves, doing what you're supposed to do. They didn't just sit back and be like, oh yeah, we had a good year last year. You know what I'm saying? Nah. Go make it happen, bro. If you want to win, now is the time to do it. So shout out to them for sure. My second best moves that I saw out there, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They go and they trade for DK Metcalf, who wanted to be out of Seattle, which makes sense because for a little bit there, had no idea what Seattle was doing. They traded Geno Smith over to the Raiders. They pretty much dumped the roster for sure. DK ends up at the Steelers. This is a good move for the Steelers in my opinion because they had George Pickens, but that's all they had. Like they weren't explosive at all, and teams could just key in on George Pickens, and after that, nobody was really doing anything else. So to have him on the other DK Metcalf on the other side of George Pickens, somebody else you absolutely have to pay attention to. That'll free up for both of them. They got Pat Freiermuth at tight end, who's more than capable. I'm pretty sure he had a lot of injuries last year, but I really like Pat Freiermuth. I pick him up in free agency a lot. Not free agency. I pick him up in fantasy football a lot. Then they also let Najee Harris walk, but obviously they believe in Jalen Warren, who great out the backfield, can catch out the backfield, and is a tough runner too. So I like that move for sure. But the only thing is they don't have a quarterback now. So you went and finally got weapons and have no idea what you're going to do at quarterback, which leads me to my surprise. The New York Jets signed Justin Fields, which I really like that move. And how Pittsburgh let Justin Fields out of their building is absolutely crazy to me. Because you saw the way he started last year, and then you saw what Russell Wilson can do. Russell Wilson is getting old. Justin Fields is 26. Like, I don't know what they're doing at the quarterback position. They're talking about waiting on Aaron Rodgers. The Jets dealt with that last year. You're not going to win like that. I'm just being honest. So, but the Jets taking advantage, coming in, sweeping Justin Fields up. Huge move for the Jets. Huge move because Aaron Glenn starting out, it would be nice to have a guy that's played a lot already. You know what I'm saying? Even if you do draft a guy in the draft, it is nice to have a dude to come in that already has experience that you don't have to necessarily just throw to the fire. You know what I'm saying? Justin Fields is more than capable at quarterback. In my opinion, he started the year off last year 4-2, and he should have been 6-0 because both of those losses were only by a field goal. I think it was to Dallas and can't remember who the other team was, but both of those losses was only by 3 points. And if the defense would have showed up, he would have started 6-0, and who knows if Russell Wilson would have played. But Justin Fields, man, he got a lot of talent, bro. Can throw the ball, can run the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like he really just needs development. Like I don't think he's had the same offensive coordinator since he's been in the league. So hopefully this Jets team can bring him in, stabilize the environment for him. And I saw a report, I think it was yesterday, that he chose the Jets over the Steelers. The Steelers put out or offered him a contract that was super similar to what the Jets actually gave him. And he chose the Jets, which that surprised me. I'm just being real because like it's rare somebody chooses the Jets. I'm just being honest, bro. But maybe the pitch that Aaron Glenn and those guys gave to him, maybe he just liked it more. Maybe he wanted to go play with Garrett Wilson, who he played with at Ohio State. Overall, too, man, the roster is not the problem for the Jets. It's not, man. It was the coaching. It was the leadership. The guys, couldn't come together. But we have a solid roster when you think about it. There's Quentin Williams, who shores up the D-line. We always got a lot of D-line depth. You still got Sauce Gardner out there who is coming up for a contract, but that's another topic. Of course, you got Garrett Wilson. You got two-headed monster at running back. You got Breece Hall and Braylon Allen, who came along big time last year in his rookie year. So the Jets have a really, really good roster, bro. And really, I mean, you fit a quarterback in there who's capable. And honestly, in my opinion, just got to get back to running the ball. Bottom line, like the Jets aren't a throw the ball 40 times type of team. When we're good, or when we were good in the past, we were a solid physical team. Like we put the ball in the hands of the running backs and we made throws when we had to. And I feel like if you give that to Justin Fields, who can make throws, who has a big arm, and you only throw when it's absolutely necessary, or you know what I'm saying, when you need him to make a play, you give him an easy throw to make, and you know what I'm saying, you move him along like that. I think the Jets can be competitive. Now, Justin Fields don't make you a Super Bowl team, but it buys you time if you can develop him the right way. So, with the situation in free agency, the Jets actually picking this up, that's a big deal for sure. I applaud them for that because it's kind of thin in the draft. You know what I'm saying? Like, not a lot of quarterbacks. Cam Ward will be gone. Shador Sanders may be there, may not be there. Do you want to take a chance on Jackson Dart? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's a bad player, but in the position that you're in as Aaron Glenn, you got to come in and compete, bro. You got to. So New York is not a place that's going to sit back and wait too much longer. And as we know, black coaches are on a short leash. They will get rid of you. So you got to come in there and you got to get to it. And so I respect him for going and picking up Justin Fields for sure. We could definitely use some O-line help, which they can address in the draft. We could also use another weapon at receiver because Devontae Adams is gone. Alan Lazard is gone. So we definitely could use another weapon at receiver. Stephon Diggs is out there, which he's coming off an ACL injury, so I can understand the hesitation there. But you also got Keenan Allen out there. Keenan Allen's one of my favorite receivers, of all time. He started off slow with the Bears last year, but definitely picked it up toward the end of the season. Got a lot left in the tank. But there's also a lot of receivers in the draft this year, too. It's really, really wide receiver heavy, so you could address that in the draft, too. So we'll see what the Jets do, but surprise move, picking up Justin Fields. I really, really like it. I'll roll with it for now. Let's see what happens. All right, y'all. So next up, March Madness is upon us. It's finally here, bro. But before we get into it, this segment is being brought to you by Fanatics. All the gear I get, man, my hat, my pullover, the t-shirts y'all see me wear, all of that stuff comes directly from Fanatics, man. They got all the latest gear. You can shop by your team, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, hockey. It doesn't matter. You can shop all of that stuff. They got the NCAA Tournament t-shirts up now. They got the team t-shirts up. They got the gear that the players wear. All of it, man. So click my affiliate link down in the description. Head on over to Fanatics. Shop all your stuff for the NCAA tournament so you can be ready and be the ultimate fan. And if your team happens to win the tournament, and hopefully if you're not a Florida fan, they don't, but you can also head over there and get all the team t-shirts for the championship as well, man. So click the link in the description to go check all that stuff out. Now, let's get to the real deal. I love this time of year, bro. NCAA tournament is always fun, man. The upsets, the Cinderella stories, it's always a lot of fun. Some of my favorites, you had Oral Roberts in 2021, who made that run to the Sweet 16. Like, I didn't even know who Oral Roberts was. Like, I had to look it up and check. I thought it was a dental school. I didn't even know who they were, bro. And they ran all the way to the Sweet 16, busted everybody's bracket, man. Or you had FDU, which is Farley Dickerson. Had no clue who they were, and that was in 2023. And they took out Purdue, which is only the second time a 16 seed beat a number 1 seed. Like, it's always crazy, bro. The other one I can think about is when you have Villanova, Chris Jenkins, Villanova versus North Carolina. Chris Jenkins with a walk-up 3 to win the NCAA championship, man. It's always fun, bro. It's always exciting, always upsets, always, like, key moments, bro. You cannot go wrong with a good NCAA tournament, bro. So, let's get into the men's bracket, right? I'm going to go ahead and give y'all my final 4. So here we go. I got Auburn, I got Florida, I got Duke, and I got Tennessee, man. That's my final 4. It was tough to pick. A lot of great matchups. Should be a lot of great games, but I ended up with those as my final 4. I got Florida and Duke in the championship, and I got my boys taking it, man. I got Florida taking it. What other way is there to go? Florida got a tough team, though. I know I'm biased, but Florida has a really, really tough team. And they are down in the Western region. And I got to say, the Western region is tough. Like, it's probably the toughest region, or I can make an argument that it is the toughest region, man. Like, you got great teams, and you got Hall of Fame coaches. Like, the first game one of the first games in the Western region, you got Arkansas versus Kansas. You got Bill Self versus John Calipari. Like, that's an all-star matchup, bro. Now, I do have Kansas taking that one because John Calipari's team does have a few injuries that, we don't know the health of some guys. So I got Kansas in that one. But, then you have Dan Hurley, UConn coming off a back-to-back championship. Team's not the same this year, but you can't count him out. Dan Hurley is an excellent coach. Almost ended up with the Lakers. Then you got Rick Pitino, who's at St. John's, that's also in the Western region. He got that team humming, bro. I think they were 30-4 this year. Won the Big East championship by 20 points. they got some, these are Hall of Fame coaches and these are great teams. So that Western region is definitely tough, but I got Florida coming out of it because Florida plays great defense, um, great offense. They got depth. Like they can play any kind of way you want to play, man. And I was watching them through the SEC tournament and they dominated. So they definitely have a great chance to win this entire thing. They just got to keep their head down and they got to, fight the adversity because it always comes. And hopefully they can pull it out, man. Hopefully for sure. Um, on the other side, you got Duke, who is the actual favorite to win the entire tournament. But big question mark there. Cooper Flag injured his ankle in the ACC tournament, so we'll see, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't think he'll be 100%. But even if he's 85%, that team is ridiculous, bro. I mean, they're the same. They're almost the same as Florida. Can play tough any kind of way you want. Cooper Flag is a stud. Like can get the ball in the rim, can shoot. They got shooters. They got rim protectors. That team is tough. So I think the only team that they really have to worry about over there, in my opinion, is Alabama, who's another tough, gritty team. Alabama made a run to the Final Four last year, which was pretty exciting. But yeah, man, they got a solid team too. So I think if Duke doesn't come out with Cooper Flag and he's 100% healthy, Alabama could easily be in that Final Four, but I'm going to roll with Duke on that one for sure. But end of the day, I got my dogs, the Florida Gators, taking the entire thing, man. And on the other side, you got the women's bracket. Now, I'm going to be honest. The women's bracket is crazy, bro. Like, I was looking at it today, and if you look at every region, every single region has multiple teams that have 27, 28, 29, 30 wins on the season. Like, every part of the bracket. Like, of course, you got your regulars who you got like UCLA, USC, UConn, South Carolina, Texas, which Texas on the women's side, I didn't even know Texas was 31-3 on the season. Them girls are hooping. Like, they only lost 3 games. Them girls are balling. Like, so my Final Four over there, I got UCLA, I got UConn, I got South Carolina, and I got Texas, right? I got UConn and South Carolina in the final, and I got South Carolina taking the whole thing. But I will say, this is a complete toss-up. Like, any of these teams could win the entire thing. Like, I'm looking at it and I'm going back and forth, and I had a hard time filling out the women's bracket, bro. Because USC is there. Juju Watkins is a flat out baller, bro. Juju could play with the dudes. I'm just saying, bro. Like, Juju can hoop, and she's revived this USC team. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, she had 50-point games. Like, she puts the ball in the basket. She makes her team better. She's a baller, and they could easily beat UConn and end up in the Final Four, end up in the championship. UConn is hungry. Paige Beckers came back for this moment. They got AZ Fudd back, who's playing amazing. She's a baller too. Like, I'm flip a coin, bro. This tournament should be absolutely amazing. And the thing I like about the women's tournament too is they get a home game, which I kind of like. Like, not gonna lie, I know the men they travel, you know what I'm saying, but the women get a home game in the beginning, which I kind of wish the men would do. But that's another story for another day. So pay close attention to the women's side too, because you're gonna get some great action from that side as well. Now, another thing you got to do when you filling out your bracket, if you're gonna fill out a bracket, you don't have a lot of time. You need to hurry up and do it tonight. But pay attention to Akron. Akron is a tough team. They are in the East region. They play Arizona to start. I watched them in the MAC championship. They didn't play well in that first half, but they came out in the second half. Came back. They was down like 20 at one point. Came back, won the game by 2. They got a bunch of players who can create their own shot. They shoot the lights out, bro. Like, they shoot threes and they drain them. Now, I think they could be one of the upset teams, right? So, and I have them I actually picked them to beat Arizona in the first round. I know Caleb Love over there in Arizona. He came from North Carolina, baller. But I picked Akron to have an upset in that first round. So pay attention to them. Also, another team that I had with the upset, I'm looking at the thing right here. Man, Maybe not even an upset because they balling. But I got St. John's going to the Elite Eight. I also have Michigan State. Michigan State, bro. Hey, they dangerous too. And I got them going to the Elite Eight. They could easily beat Auburn. Auburn was on a slide at the end of the season. I think they lost like 5 games straight or something like that. But these are teams you got to be careful of, man. And I'll just tell you right now, somebody's going to bust your bracket, bro. It's just how it goes, man. I know another team everybody was making a fuss about. North Carolina. I think they start out, they play Ole Miss. Ole Miss better come out on their toes because I know North Carolina hear all the noise. I know they hear people saying they ain't supposed to be there. They're going to be playing mad. So they got a long history. They're going to be playing upset. So Ole Miss, you should be on upset alert. Come out there and handle their business or you're going home. I'm just being real. So this tournament should be great, bro. Should be great. Shout out to the SEC too, man. They got like 14 teams in it. The SEC is a football conference. It's not a basketball conference. So for them to have 14 teams in the tournament, shout out to the SEC, man. But the best one in there, the Florida Gators, man. They're going to win it all. All right, y'all. So now that we got all the good stuff out the way, I'm going to leave y'all with my sports super fan tip of the day, right? And this one is around creating your March Madness brackets, filling out your brackets, all right? So my tip, right? Fill out multiple brackets. I always do like 2 or 3, right? And I do mine on ESPN mostly. They let you fill out up to 25, but I don't fill out that many, right? Always do 2 or 3 though, because the first one, I'm always going to pick with my heart, right? My Florida guys in it, they got a great chance to win. I got them winning the first bracket, right? But the second one, now I come back and I start to pick some of those upsets, right? So some of those ones that are really close, like I found Akron, who I think can pull it out against Arizona. So I put that one in there. Stuff like that. Those 8-9 matchups, those 7-10 matchups that are really close. Go ahead and pick some of them upsets because you just never know. And if you can get a couple of those right, you can hang in there and your bracket will have a chance to survive, right? Then I come back with my third bracket and I pick another team who I think can win, right? So I'll fill out one and I'll pick Duke to win this time, or I'll come back and I'll pick Tennessee to win. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else who actually has a chance, I'll go ahead and pick them to win, right? Now, if you do a fourth one, now mix the 2, right? Mix some of those upsets with another team or even the team you had in the first time. So there's really no science to it, but the more you fill out, the more chances you got. So go in there, fill out multiple brackets, head on over to ESPN, and this isn't even a plug, but head on over to ESPN, man, fill out your bracket. You can, like I said, you can do up to 25 of them. If you win, you get part of the prize, which I don't know how much it is this year, but shoot, if you get $10, you know what I'm saying? That's more than you had. But yeah, man, have fun filling out your brackets. It's always a good time. It's always something to keep up with. So my sports super fan tip of the day. I appreciate y'all coming back to hang out with me. Please do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe, all of that, man. If you enjoy the content, please help me out. Send it out to somebody. Like it, comment. Commenting helps my engagement, man. I love talking to y'all. So leave me some comments, man. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. As always, enjoy the tournament, man.